What's up, YouTube? I was going to show you this little ambush spot I got over here real quick. So as you can see, this is kind of opens up back in there. This is a little bit thicker on the side of that ridge there. It's kind of open. That's hardwoods. Right through that opening right there is our food plot for the big oak tree, which is over there. Now look at the persimmons on this tree right here. I don't know if you guys can see them. They are, it's loaded. So is this tree here. So I got 2 persimmon trees. Now, look at the trails coming through here. You can see where these deer have already they've even been bedding up in here. All these are little persimmon trees, but none of them have any persimmons on them. But look at the trails coming through here. Now, these deer are already in here, I guess, waiting for these persimmons to get ripe. There's another persimmon tree right there that's loaded. There's a little tree right there. And then right there, let's see, right, that little hole right there, that's the tree where I cut all the briars out. I have my stand setting right in that hole, probably 7 foot off the ground. Now, that tree doesn't have anything on it. So, anyways, there's that little tree. Here's all the persimmon trees. There's a little hardwood patch. That is south. Behind me is north. So most of the time we get a south wind. So these big trees over here, you could hunt if you get high enough, like way up there on that one little straight stretch. And I might try that this year. As long as the deer come through here or through here, you can shoot them when they get out in here. But a lot of times, they come from this way and come back here, so they would bust you for sure. But this is a real good ambush spot. This is one of those spots where, like, I couldn't get way up in there on that little bitty section right there. That'd be about 22 feet up. And as long as I shot them when they were coming down these 2 trails here, there's a lot of deer capping. Look at all this matted down grass right here. And then there's usually scrapes back in here. And then right over there, about 150 yards from here, is a corn pile. And this is just a real good little ambush spot. It's really good for early season. You can see right here, this is just some little scrub oaks, and there's a draw right through there, which is why I never hunt this on a north wind, because you can see right here, there's a little persimmon patch, there's the trees. See that draw running through there? It goes up over there and up over here. Makes a good little saddle, and a lot of times they come right up out of that saddle. But a lot of times they'll mill around in these little oaks over here. They don't mess with them over there much, but they'll mill around in these, picking up acorns on the way to the little persimmon patch. So I'm right here, right in this little draw. There's the majority of the persimmon patch, and there's a pretty good sized white oak right there. I don't really see it. Yeah, there's some acorns on it. So this will be a good little food area. Check this out right here in this little draw. More persimmons here. More persimmons in these little trees. So I'm just surrounded by all natural food source right here. You just don't want to hunt a north wind, because over here is the highest point, and then that way it goes down. And on a north wind, it all comes right through here in circles. But on a south wind, you can wear them out. You could hunt right over them persimmons. You could come back this way and try it out. It's just that I don't like getting into a situation where they can come from any direction and I don't know which direction they're gonna come from for sure. I would rather hunt the edge. There's a huge white oak right there. Huge for our area. But they'll feed on these white oaks on their way to the persimmons, coming just like this. You get a good southwest or southeast wind, you're 100% protected right there. So I won't come in here and hang a stand or nothing until I see persimmons hitting the ground in other areas, and I'll stay completely out of here. As soon as I see right persimmons, I'll be in here with my stand propped up in that same little ambush tree, or maybe that big tree. Now this here is a long, long ways from the copperhead and the ruckspan, the two little plots that I have over there, little kill plots. But like I said, just because I have kill plots and corn piles, that don't mean that's where I'm hunting. I hunt where the deer's at. There's some rubs on it. Look at all these. Look at these persimmons. Man, there's a lot of persimmons this year. These little trees. Rub right there. That's not too bad. That's waist high. So I'll definitely be back in here this year. Last year when I sat here, it worked perfect. The only thing was, look how all this grass is already matted down. They're coming in here already. Probably coming through here, eating corn, just checking these persimmons, see if any of them's getting right, or they may know when they get right. Hell, I don't know. But it's all shaded and cool back up in these woods too, so it's good little bedding areas for them in this hot heat. It's like 97 today. But yeah, this is the kind of area when I see persimmons hitting the ground in the other areas, I'll slip in here with my stand, pop it up. I'll show you guys some rubs from years past. Look here. Look how this grass is just watered down here. Here's the old rubs in there. The rubs, well, all these old rubs. Right there is our food plot in that opening, but right up through this little stretch of trees, there's a ton of old rubs running right to that big oak. And then there'll be a lot of scrapes in there, but it's not the kind of scrapes you can hunt. But this is the little persimmon patch right here I wanted to show you guys. All right, guys. Where I'm at right now, straight this way. That way is south. Through this little creek right here and up and over that ridge is where all my hunting is. This is another little ambush spot I got. Look at this rub right here. That was a fresh rub last year. It's only about hip high. But there's a major trail coming through here. It's been here every year. It comes right through here. You can see it. And I'm going to show you what's going on over here. Hold on just 1 second. It comes through here. It comes through there. And about 60 yards that way, maybe a little closer, is a little pond. It holds water out here. Now I have an ambush tree stand set up in here. I set it up last year. See it right there? It was hard to get up in that tree, and it's hard to get in and out of here without being quiet. So I just left it. All I'm gonna do is change out my straps when I come in here. But you can see there's just old broken off trees. And best I could tell is from my cameras, them bucks, that's all super thick back in there. That's a low spot. That starts going up. This starts going up. There was a ton of beds on both sides, and even in this lower thicket. And the bucks come right out of there. They travel this little fence line right here, straight down that way, and then they travel this creek right here, straight down that way. And so there's some guys that have some feeders back over there, and then we'll usually put some corn out over there. So basically they're coming out of this bedding in here, coming this way, working right down through there, and they go right by this stand right here. But it's another one where you're only hunting one trail, and there's always a ton of buck sign down in here. Here's another rub right here. Again, I think it's just historical, but it's pretty high, waist high. And if I wanted to, which I'm not because I'm wearing shorts, I could walk you back through these two thickets right here. There's a couple trails that run through there and show you. Just rub, rub, rub. And they're all coming and going. Another thing to always look for, guys, is see how this limb is broken right there? Yeah. And then you come over here. That limb is broken off right there. You just walk around through here and you find them limbs like that. That's old scrapes in the past. Some of them are from this year. That's one of the things I was going to tell you guys about. I'm coming over here right now to get a limb. So check it out. This little limb right here, is fresh from last year. It's not very big, but it's good enough. See here, guys, more limbs broken off on this main trail, coming out of them beds we were talking about. All these years to pass, busted limbs. That's deer just making straight. Look, this one's from last year. Right there. I might snatch that one up too. A little more right there. All on this trail, coming out of the bed this way, following that fenced row right there. And there's a creek just right there. They use it working right down through there. All right, guys, I'm about to show you now. So I like to call my top super secret scrape hunting tactic. This is something that I've done for a long time and it works good. I'm going to show it to you now because when I come home, I'm not going to have time to be making a video before I hunt. I'm going to be getting in the house, going to bed, getting up and going bow hunting. Season will be open when I come home. But so what we got right here is I had a tree stand. Let me flip this camera. So I had my tree stand up in that oak right there last year, and I watched these deer come out of this bedding. They come out of bedding off that hill, and they come through that fence gap right there. I had a big, huge corn pile right here for most of the season, but a lot of deer came in from this way, from this way, and from this way. So I would hunt this on a southwest wind, which would blow back that way, and I always seen deer. I actually shot opening season. I was actually in a different tree stand. I was up there, and I shot the first deer back over there. It was a 9-point, but that was the one that I was talking about earlier when I switched to heavy arrows. And when he come through the opening is about 10 foot wide. He come through like this, and he come to that fence gap. Like I said, I was sitting over there. He come here and he got to that fence gap. I was ready to shoot him when he walked out. He never walked out, he went back. So I'm standing up facing like this, and I caught him in my eye over here. So I turned, and as I turned, he walked out in the opening, and as I was drawing back, I was like, Matt. And so he looked at me as I drew back. He was looking straight at me. He was 30 yards. He watched me draw, he watched me anchor, and when I shot, he jumped and hit him high. It was only an inch high because one of my buddies killed him during rifle season with a rifle, and the arrow hole was in him, clear as a bell. Hit him about an inch high, but had he not dropped that extra inch, I would have got him. When I went and shot my bow through a chrono, it was shooting 259. I almost fell over. On the average, I shoot 289 to 90, to 290, 289, 290, something like that is average. Well, if you think about it, 30 yards, all I needed was 1 inch. So 260, 70, 80, let's just say I only shot 80, that's 20 more feet. That arrow would have traveled in 1 second, and I would have got that inch and got that deer instead of my buddy killing him. So at that point, I threw them heavy ass arrows down and never looked back. Well, anyway, back to this. So this This right here was a scrape. Right there on the ground was a scrape. What I do is, you see them limbs I clipped off earlier? Now I'm a long ways from where I'm planning on hunting opening morning. So I'm trying to get new deer scent over there to make them deer come to that scrape and start using it, using these licking branches. So what I'll do is I'm gonna take my shovel here and my bag, and I'm gonna dig up some of this dirt out of this scrape. And then I'm gonna take it over there, and I'm gonna take those two licking branches that I tore down back here, and I'm gonna make a mock scrape using licking branches, busted limb licking branches with deer scent on them that are still on the main trail coming out of these beds this way. So I'm sure they're still hitting them. And then I'm gonna take dirt that has deer scent in it, and I'm gonna make my mock scrape with it. You can use vines, you can use whatever you want to. I'm telling you, use the stuff the deer already has their scent on, and it works like a charm. Now, you come out here during the second week of October, or when they're hitting scrapes real hard, and you find a scrape that's got fresh deer pee in it, and you dig that dirt up, and you take that scrape over there and you put it in your scrape that you're hunting. Yep. You're gonna bring bucks in there to see why that new deer is in their area, and also just for communication purposes. That's a trick from me to you. All right, guys, so I'm gonna show you another reason why the rut stand is really good. So right over there where them big trees are, that's the neighbor's property line. It goes that way about another 60 yards, and it drops to a steep, deep something. I've never been over the fence, but you can see it. And then there's 2 or 3 stands down the property line on that side, so the deer stay over here when they're traveling. Right over here, well, there's my dirt plot, or turd plot. Right over there is where I got my stuff set up. And all them deer that come out of that bedding way back there, they'll work their way around this on the north wind, because this is north and the neighbor's property is south. They'll work their way around. They'll cut through here, especially the bucks, because they can stay hidden. And they'll come down this trail right here. And I'm gonna show you what I found over here. So this trail that cuts through right here. This is why I started hunting this area now. You can see this is still heavily used. And it goes that way, it goes this way, meets right back up in this little opening right here. Now, this whole area right here was just covered scrapes last year. Yeah, that was all scraped up. All the stuff under this tree was all scraped up. Every one of these trees had scrapes in them. Now, you can see years and years of rubbing activity on all of these trees. Just years and years. All the way, even that one back there. Just past years of rubs. So them deer have been using this little corridor for a long time. Now, I hunt this on a north wind because north is that way, south is the neighbors, and this trail runs east and west. This side over here on the north side is a little higher than the south side, so in the mornings my thermals are going up. So I don't have a problem hunting it on a north wind, and when I show you in a minute, even though the trail's on the north side of my stand, you'll see why. But I also will hunt it on a south wind, because obviously the trail's on the south side and they're not gonna bust me. But most of the time, they travel through here when they have a north wind. Everything's coming off. You can see how thick that is. So you can see why they take this path. All super thick, both sides, easy path. Just like us, they're gonna take the easy path. So anyway, we're gonna keep walking. Got down this easy path, got through here. You can see there was a scrape right there too. But you can just see the trail. One right through there, one kind of cuts right there, but it turns right back over here on this when it gets to these briars. And again, all this stays real thick up here. All this shit is real thick. And this is a little gap, basically a natural gap for them right here, a little opening. And then the other super secret of this little honey hole is persimmons, baby. Persimmons, persimmons, freaking persimmons. I love hunting me some persimmons. There's more right there. Now, these trails, they kind of go each direction right here. That one little kill spot I was talking about is over there. Now, when you see this tree, you're gonna think I'm crazy. So what I do is, no deer is coming in that thick stuff right there. That little bitty tree right there. I don't know if you can see it. Hold on. So, right there, where I had that stand, that little tree, right here is the main trail. I can only shoot right where I'm standing, right over to about right in that little hole right there, and right in this little hole right here. So, as you can see, when they come in here to get these persimmons, and they will come to get these persimmons, which is right there. There's my tree. I'll be sitting down, bow facing this opening. And when he walks out, all I literally got to do is pull straight back and he'll be none the wiser. I'll let the air out of him. All right, so that's that little opening I was just talking about. Now, just inside, that's all the thick. That's all the thick. That's the one opening that cuts through there and goes around and up over the ridge to the bedding. And then you have this little open section of hardwoods right here. Well, this is open for this area. And some deer were coming through here. They'll mill around in here picking up on acorns. Then they'll come over and they'll hit them persimmons. You can't really hunt right here because the hill goes up right there, and then the deer come through on the south side, and the hill goes up on the north side. But the deer also, they kind of funnel like this and like this and come from anywhere in here, but they go through that one opening. So by getting in here, you're risking him coming behind you or on the downwind side of you. I'd rather take my chance and have that one shot area than be able to see a little more. And they will come to them persimmons when they're ripe. All right, guys, right here's a good example of a buck bed. You see that rub right there? Rub on that tree right there. Rub on that tree right there. This tree's been rubbed off, and you can see where it's all matted down right here. So, just gonna show you that I just come across it near to where I was going. And right through here is the trail that I was looking for to get on. Heading over here to this spot I found a while back. Some old scrape, torn up stuff right there. All right, guys, here's my spot. So this is north, super thick. There's a little tunnel right through here. Look at the persimmons on this freaking tree. Like hundreds. This is the sun just got mine. This is the one I was showing you guys quite a few videos back. This tree is littered with them in the ground underneath it. Again, like the other spot, or smoothed out. Look at it. Or smoothed out. I wouldn't be surprised if they were bedding right here, waiting on some of these little white-tailed treats to fall. They're pretty good ways from falling though. Anyway, so like that tree right there, that oak tree right there, that's where I'm gonna get. You can see the trails all in here. Look at this. I swear they're bedding up underneath these persimmons, more persimmons. And then more persimmons. Now these are all white oaks too. The one back over here is loaded with acorns already. I haven't really checked these others, but anyway, so you can see that dip coming up through there. And right over there, it starts going up again. Goes up pretty good. And then that just keeps falling down. So right here, we're about a third of the way down from the very top. I don't know if you can see it, but right through there, that's opening that light. Right through there, that's the top. It's maybe 150 yards. And again, you just got super thick. And this makes a perfect travel corridor right through here. I get up in that tree right there and come in here and get in these persimmons right before dark. And I should have a perfect, easy shot. Yeah, these trees have quite a few acorns already popping up low to the ground. It's just perfect. And then that big oak is right through there. So we have bedding. Bedding to the northwest. Food acorns, persimmons coming through here, headed to the Copperhead where the corn and the beans are, and they're also that way is the rut stand where the corn is. And this makes a good little pinch point right here, because right there is where that little ditch drops off and runs down to the little rocky creek kind of bottom through there. So I get up in that tree right there, right up. Let me get right up in that water stuff right there, I believe. Yeah, the only problem is you'll only be able to hunt this on a north wind. There's no tree over here on the north side big enough to get in to hunt for a south wind. And any tree you get on this side, the deer are gonna be coming on the upwind side of you, which we most of the time have a freaking south wind over here now. I may be able to, when these leaves are gone later in the year, find a tree that I can get in over there. But as for now, my plan's gonna be up in that one, hunted on the north wind. Man, there's a bunch of old rows right here. I may have to look around a little more. All right, guys, here's what I did with my scrape. So, hold on a second. Right there's my tree I'm gonna get in. It's about 15 yards. I took these overhanging limbs from old scrapes from last year that already has deer scent on it, and the dirt that I dug up out of the scrape, pawed out the ground, tied these up. I moved the rest of this stuff out of the way, where this is the only limb hanging out here. It's right on this main trail, and that's how I do my mock scrapes. I already have deer scent on them. You have the deer scent, all the deer scent from that licking branch last year, and they were still using it this year probably. And then you have the dirt. It's got deer urine and crap and all that stuff in it. Scent from between their toes. That's how I do mine. So what I'll do now, when the deer start scraping and making fresh scrapes this year, I'll freshen it up with that. And I never use scrapes from where I'm at. I'll go to the other side of the ranch, get a whole new deer scent, bring it over here and put it in that scrape. Now, for this little spot right here, obviously I got my tree right there, got all the persimmons there. There's another little persimmon patch over there. I just walked out all the way out to the turd plot, which is about 400 yards. Found several good beds in there, probably from last year. There's no way to hunt anything past that, period. It's too good of a bedding area. I mean, you could go in there, but most likely you're gonna bump a deer out of there. You ain't even gonna know it now. when things start getting tough, if I have to, I'll try a bump and dump. But what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna wait till I get a good north wind blowing from this ridge back to that tree. That should be a good temperature drop. By then, persimmons will be dropping. These white oaks will be ready. You can see white oak acorns. And I'm gonna tell you right now, when them white oaks hit the ground, it ain't much that'll keep them out of it. So anyway, that's what we got. I'm gonna get my stand put up, and it's gonna be ready for when I get home. And so you guys have seen now about 4 different ambush spots. I got them set up where I can hunt any wind. I mean, not each stand I can't hunt any wind, but I have a stand for any wind. So this stand here for sure, I will not come in here without a north wind. So there's a couple of good big nice 8 points and another 10 point that's coming through here, coming over through the copperhead. I'm pretty sure they're coming through here. Now my access to this is obviously not the way I'm going now. It's way too noisy, and I gotta walk through a bunch of deer houses to get this way. This is the shortest way back to me, side by side, and I'm trying to get things finished up. I gotta head out to Montana in the morning, but what I'll do is straight back that way from that stand to that property line is only about, I don't know, 70 or 80 yards. And there's an old road that comes up through there, and that'll be on the downwind side of that on the north wind. I'll walk that road in. There's a creek bed from the back of that tree, runs right down that road. It's good rock base. Won't have to be noisy. I'll slip in from that side up that creek, and then like I said, all of the human traffic is on the north side of this ridge. And down there where I showed you the other day from the Copperhead plot back that way. No people ever come in on that back road back there. So I'll walk all the way from the camp house down that road, hop around, slip up in that tree, and be sitting there waiting. And hopefully old Big Boy will come in and say hello. Oh, here's another good spot right here. Oh yeah, there's definitely some deer bedding up right in here. This rub has got definitely marks on it from last year. And over here on this side, you can see where the leaves are all matted down, going down. Some more rubs right there. Like I said, you can't come anywhere through here without possibly getting on a bed. Look at this. Little high point. There's a perfect little draw running right through there. A draw running right through there. All that wind, I can literally feel it coming from both directions, hitting me in the face. You can never sneak up on his ass right here. But you might sneak up on him if you call sneaking up on him a couple 100 yards away. But again, that's why I'm gonna have to get on that north wind. Right now we have a southwest wind, what we usually have. I have to get in here on the north wind, come down that road, blow my scent into the neighbor's property. I hope I broke every deer walking down that fence road as far away from here as we can. That guy really pissed me off last year. He went over there and cleared the shooting lanes down the fence road to a grub line that was on our property, working down our side of the fence. He cleared shooting lanes so that he could shoot across the fence. So I'm gonna walk in and out over there as much as possible. I don't care if I scare every deer out of the country, as long as I scare them away from him. I won't scare them all away from me. I'll get mine killed first. And if he clears them trees out again this year, I'm gonna park my side by side on my side of the fence, right in front of his stand. Every time I come hunting, I don't even care if I ain't even hunting over here. I'll park it over here, have someone follow me. I'll park it right in front of his stand on my side of the property line, And then I'll go to the other side of the ranch and hunt some of those other spots over there. That's how you got to do. Property line setters. Straight BS. Alright guys, I'm back in the truck. Man, it is hot today. It's like 95. So I was just going to elaborate a little more on what you can do if you're scrape hunting. You can take you a freezer lock bag, a big freezer bag with a zipper lock on it, and right in the woods on the opposite side away from where you hunt, find you a good active scrape, scoop that scrape dirt up, bring it over to where you're going to hunt over the scrapes. I usually won't do it till the morning. I like doing this in the cold morning hunts. Take that dirt in there, dump it in that scrape, get up in your tree and just wait. If you got a nice aggressive buck around, he smells that fresh buck that he don't know over there in his area, a lot of times he'll come check it out. And I actually killed a deer like that in Holly Springs in South Arkansas one time when I was young. I was probably about 25, 26. And I put all that in there, and then I also poured buck urine and doe pee in there, climbed up in the tree, and just as it broke daylight where I could see the ground, I hit the grunt tube, bat, 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 bat. It's like an old young buck chasing the doe around. He'll grunt every step, bat, 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 bat. Did that for a few seconds, then I hit that can call. Literally a few seconds right after I did that, I heard crashing coming out of the woods from behind me. Stepped out on the right about 20 yards and killed him. It was a 7-point, I think. Not a very big deer. None of the deer down there are very big. Matter of fact, if you want to feel your buck tag down there in South Arkansas where I live, where I used to hunt when I grew up, you better shoot whatever buck comes out. I remember years and years and years and years of everybody, all they killed was spikes. But until they made that 3-on-1 side rule, and then they started getting some small racks. But anyway, that's just a little scrape tactic hack you can try if you want to. I like to do it. You might like it too. Give it a shot.